Good evening. I have a very important message I'd like to share with you. And my name is James. I'm from Stony Creek Church of Christ. And this message is if I were the devil. I want you to think about that. If I were the devil, I would gain control of the most powerful nation in the world. I would delude their minds into thinking that they had come from men's effort instead of God's blessings. If I was the devil, I would promote an attitude of loving things and using people instead of the other way around. If I was the devil, I would delude entire state to rely on gambling for their estate revenue. I would convince people that character is not an issue when it comes to leadership. I would even make it legal to take life of unborn babies if I was the devil, such as, as you know, abortion. It'd be okay to abort if I was the devil. If I was the devil, I would make it socially accessible to take one's own life, suicide, and invent machines to make it conventional to do such suicide. I would cheapen humans' life as much as possible so that the life of animals, such as dogs, cats, are valuable more than human beings. I would take God out of the schools so that even the mention of His name was ground for such as a lawsuit. I would come up with drugs and sedate the minds of the poor, target the young. I would get sports heroes to even advertise them, such as drugs. If I was the devil, I would get control of the media, Hollywood, so that every night I can pollute the minds of every family member for my agenda if I was the devil. I would even attack the family, the backbone of any nation, if I was the devil. I will make divorce acceptable and, of course, easy if I was the devil, even fashionable. If the family crumbles, so does the nation if I was the devil. I would compel people to express their most depraved fantasies on content in movie screens, and I would call it art if I was the devil. I would convince the world that people are born homosexuals and their lifestyles would be acceptable and marveled if I was the devil. I would convince the people that right and wrong are determined by a few who are calling themselves authorities and refer to their agenda as particularly correct if I was the devil. I would persuade people that the church is just only irrelevant and out of date, that we don't have to go to church. Church is old school. Who cares about church if I was the devil? And that the Bible, my friends, the Bible is naive if I was the devil. I would dull the minds of Christians and make them believe that prayer is not important if I was the devil. That faithfulness and obedience are optional. You don't have to do this thing if I was the devil. Come to think about it, my friends, if I was the devil, I guess I would just leave the world pretty much like it is if I was the devil. Pretty much. This was by Paul Harvey, a man, and it's sad, my friends, to say that all of this I went through is actually come true in our life. We can see the abortion act. We can see homosexuals coming in. We can see that the church is now coming out of existence. Our friends, are you winning? Is the devil letting you win? Watch out, my friends. Watch out for the devil. Thank you.